I'm at the best car museum in the entire world. It is the Peterson in Los Angeles, and there are over $1 billion worth of cars in here. And what I'm going to do is pick my favorite cars to build my own dream car collection. And then I'm going to find out how much it would be worth, because I'm Matt Watson and you're watching CarWow. Buy, sell, CarWow. I'd like to introduce you to Michael. Now, Michael, you're the COO of the Peterson Museum, aren't you? So I've got a little challenge for you.
Okay.
I'd like you to pick out 3 different cars across different categories, and then I will choose which of those cars I will add to my dream car collection.
Perfect.
And we'll work out the total cost of them. And I want to start off my collection with a car that no one else can own.
Yeah, one of one.
One of one.
Yeah.
And what have you got for me to begin with?
We're standing next to the prototype Cybertruck. So this is a pretty good start. Definitely the largest prototype one of one that's going to be in the museum.
I've not seen the Cybertruck in the metal before. Can I just get up close to it and just
you can touch a corner.
touch a corner? Look at this. It's like, oh my God, just stainless steel.
Yeah, it's bulletproof.
I saw the video, you know, where they throw the...
We have the ball and hammer right in the corner there. So.
Really?
Yeah.
The one that smashed the window?
The actual one that smashed the window.
The unsmashable window?
The unsmashable window.
And the undeliverable truck that hasn't gone on sale properly yet?
I believe it's the end of this year.
Wasn't it the end of this year, last year?
Good things take time. Right?
Yeah. But look at it. How are they going to get this and make it like road legal? Like, there's no pedestrian protection there.
Elon always figures it out.
It looks absolutely insane.
It looks dystopian. A lot of the design of this car came from the 80s wedge cars. Think about like the Lotus Esprit, the Giugiaro bodied cars.
And the low bed's nuts as well. Look at it.
You can't have it without the ATV that goes in and matches, of course.
Oh, this is a really great start to the collection, but you've got to show me 2 of the cars. I think we stick with Tesla, but before we move on, let's just give me a price.
So I would assume if Tesla were willing to sell this prototype, maybe 5 million.
Okay,
yeah,
maybe sold, but let's see some other Teslas.
You only get a chance at one first.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So this is the next Tesla prototype you've got for me.
This is the new Roadster, the 2.0.
Prototype yet again, but does it run?
This one does.
This is like the kind of crazy fast one, yeah? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, so this would use, in theory, the plaid motor setup. So which is 2 in the rear, 1 in the front. And those 3 motors would, in theory, give it over 1,000 horsepower and that 0 to 60 under 2 seconds.
And this one has that power system or not?
This is the prototype, so I don't believe it has that power system.
Oh, I've gone off it a little bit.
But the real car will.
Yeah, but we're talking prototypes. It is drivable, but it's not quite as fast as the production car will be. Looks amazing, and no one's got one yet. In terms of value, obviously Cybertruck, in the end, he went for 5 million. What would this be worth, do you
That's
guess?
A tough one. I think the Cybertruck, just because it's so unique in its design, would be a little bit more valuable than this. Maybe 3 million.
3?
Yeah. It's whatever somebody would want to pay for the first.
Let's go for another first Tesla machine.
It's the size of a truck.
It's the size of a truck. It's crazy, that central driving position, like a McLaren F1.
You are a racing car driver for a truck driver in this. I mean, it's 0 to 60 is like 8 seconds, faster than any other semi-truck. It's very aerodynamic. I mean, it's got the slippery shape as well.
To maximize your range, which you're going to ruin by making it accelerate from 0 to 60 miles an hour, which no one really needs in an HGV, but there we go. Does it run like the Cybertruck and the Roadster?
Yes, yeah, I mean, this is a functional prototype, so it does have batteries and an electric motor in it.
So I could drive this.
That's your next drag race.
Yeah, next drag race. Yeah, that's a great idea. So value, how much would that cost me?
Maybe $1 million. Again, it's whatever somebody will pay for a prototype if the owner is willing to sell.
Okay then, Michael, let's add the Cybertruck to my collection.
Let's do it.
It's the first car in my dream car garage. Next though, I want you to find me a car that's been owned by a famous person.
We've got quite a few of those.
So what have we got here then, Michael?
So this is a 1956 Jaguar XKSS, and what makes this one unique, other than being exceptionally rare, is that it was owned by Steve McQueen, the King of Cool.
The King of Cool, and very famous as a car lover.
He was both a driver and a celebrity, but a driver first.
So what's special about this car other than the Steve McQueen link?
So they were supposed to make 25 XKSSs for homologation rules when Jaguar was racing the D-Type, but the factory burned down, so they only made 16 of these. And these truly were race cars for the road. They could do 0 to 60 in 1956 in less than 6 seconds, which was immensely fast. And this one was customized for Steve McQueen. So when he bought it, he painted it British racing green, and he had Tony Nance Yancey, who was a famous hot rod builder, do the interior for him.
And top speed in this car?
About 150 miles an hour.
What are the brakes?
They were disc brakes.
Disc at the front?
Yeah, that was very unique to Jaguar. Jaguar was ahead of the curve when it came to braking.
Yeah, I don't think it's ahead of the curve anymore.
No comment.
Very diplomatic. Price though, you know, I'm a fan of Steve McQueen, right? But how much is this?
His ownership adds significant value to cars. So an XKSS would typically go for around $15 million. But because of his ownership, I would guess this one is 20 to 25 plus. Typically, a Steve McQueen car is double or triple the value of the regular market value of that vehicle.
My God.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to spend too much too soon, so have you got a celebrity car that's a little less expensive?
We do. We can go check that out now.
So then, Michael, this looks to me like a Porsche 911 Turbo S 991 generation. What's special about it? I love the colour.
The color is really unique, but the ownership is even more unique. So this was owned by none other than Slash.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm a Guns N' Roses fan, so that's good.
This is a very cool car, and you know, Slash was an Aston owner, but he wanted to go back and try something new, so he went to the Porsche.
With a bit of paint to sample.
Paint to sample. This is probably my favorite green that has ever lived on any Porsche.
It is really nice. So one of these used, you're talking what, about $150,000 normally? What's this one worth, being Slash's?
I would double it just because of his ownership.
That's
Maybe
not too bad,
grand.
really, to say
Yeah.
you've got Slash's old car.
Yeah.
That's good value, and I could daily it.
And it's got pedigree, and I'm sure there's a lot of stories from this car.
So I take it this is the final celebrity car.
This is a very special celebrity car because it's got a bullet hole in it.
A bullet hole.
Can you guess who would shoot a car?
Someone who's probably addled with drink and drugs and eaten too many hamburgers.
You're on the right track.
Is it the King's car?
It is the King's car. This was Elvis's Pantera. And this one is very cool. I mean, this one has the history of, you know, he got into a fight with Linda Thompson and the car didn't start, so he decided to shoot it because that's typically what makes a car start. And there are several bullet holes that you can see.
Several?
Yeah, there's 3 actually.
He didn't just shoot it once.
Well, you know, it didn't start the first time.
Did it actually start after he shot it?
He did not. No, I'm not condoning that. Yeah.
What a story to go with the car. And it looks cool as well, but how much is it worth?
Roughly about $1 million.
$1 million.
Yeah.
Thing is, I'd like my celebrity car to be something that I can drive to lots of places so I can show it off to people. Also in the UK, you shouldn't really have bullet holes in cars because you'll get arrested. I think I'm going to go for Slash's Porsche 911 Turbo S. Let's add that to the collection and move on, because what I'd like you to do now is find me a weird car.
We've got a lot of weird stuff here.
Let's find 3 different ones and I'll choose the weirdest one. Well, Michael, this looks pretty weird.
Can you guess what it's powered by?
I'm guessing not a normal internal combustion engine, and I'm guessing it's not electric either. So go on, what's going on?
Turbine powered. So when in doubt, put a jet in the back.
Obviously.
And you know, this was an era in the 1950s when, you know, a lot of the inspiration was coming from space. So the design of this car kind of looks like a rocket taking off in the back.
That is weird, but also very, very cool.
Yeah, and this is a Ghia bodied car. Ghia was an Italian coach builder. And so you can see it still has the sleekness, and it was just at the era where aerodynamics were starting to be considered for cars. If you can see how long this car is, it's almost 18 feet long.
It's so long, and the front is just so sleek and smooth. But really, it's all about
The back on this one.
Yeah, the back and what's underneath here. So jet turbine. What kind of horsepower does this put out?
I would guess this put out maybe between 250 and 350 horsepower.
But the jet turbine actually powers the wheels, or does it actually just propel itself by jet propulsion?
This one actually does power the wheels.
That's just the exhaust system then.
Exactly.
Does it provide any thrust?
I'm sure it does.
A little bit of thrust.
Yeah. This actually drove in its own power.
So it runs.
Absolutely.
So how much would this be worth?
Ooh, I would guess this would be somewhere between maybe $2 and $4 million.
Quite expensive then, but it is very special. Have you got anything else weird?
We do.
All right then, Michael, this is more my kind of weird.
Yes, this is like bad guy weird.
What's going on with the door?
So this is our round door Rolls. This is a 1925 Phantom 1 Rolls Royce. This car was originally supposed to be shipped to the Dodge family. It didn't actually get shipped to the Dodge family. It ended up getting shipped to India, and the owner rebodied it in 1934 with this 21-foot body.
It's absolutely massive.
Yes.
And ludicrous. It lives up to its name, round. Can we look inside?
We can, yeah. So it's got this reverse hinge round door, and it's pretty spectacular inside as well, with the ox blood red interior.
Wow.
And this car weighs over 6,000 pounds, but it is only powered by a Phantom 1 engine, which had roughly just over 100 horsepower. So you can imagine it didn't really get out of its own weight very well.
Almost 3 tons and 100 horsepower.
And no power steering. It's a car you want to be driven and you don't want to drive.
Because it looks like a kind of bad guy's like getaway vehicle,
Yeah.
but it's not going to get away from his own shadow.
That's correct. But it'll look good in its own shadow.
What's the price? Can I afford
This
it?
is probably a 10 million plus car. It's a one of one, so it makes it really unique. It kind of makes it priceless. But also, this is a car that Bob Peterson actually restored for the opening of the Peterson, so it is very special to us. So Matt, this is the third weird car for you.
And it definitely looks really, really weird. The front sort of reminds me of the Land Speed or whatever it's called from Star Wars.
I mean, this is called a bat.
A bat,
think
yeah,
you
I
can
get
kinda
that.
guess why it's called a bat.
It's got wings like a bat.
It does have wings. This was an aerodynamic study done by Alfa Romeo. It's a Bertone-bodied car. And you can see that they were playing with how the air flows over the side of the car, and the wings kind of push it down. Not immensely powerful, the 2-liter engine, 120 mile an hour top speed.
It is absolutely stunning. I love it. So how much is this?
So these recently sold as a trio. They made 3 of these, and they sold for roughly about $15 million.
For the 3?
Yeah, for the 3. But that means you can't buy them anymore. So I would say that the value has probably gone up, and this car is valued somewhere between $5 and $8 million.
Has it got 3 windscreen wipers because there's 3 of them, or is it just the shape of the windscreen, which
Shape
is like?
of the windscreen.
Do you know what? That's actually the most stupid thing that any automotive journalist has ever uttered in their entire life.
It's the Jaguar E-Type. Their first E-Types had 3 windscreen wipers.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, I don't remember that. Okay. You're much hotter on older cars than I am, but this is such a fine save. Let's round it up to 8 just to be safe. And you know what? This is the weird car I'm going to take. I love the turbine car. I love that crazy rolls round, but this is just something else, isn't it?
It really is, yeah.
Do you know what I need now, though? We've had a crazy car. I want a car owned by a crazy person. And I've heard that here at the Peterson Museum, you have some dictators cars.
We do. We keep those locked up downstairs.
All right, Michael, what have you got for me, first of all?
This is the Mercedes 600 Landaulet.
Okay, who owned this then?
This was Saddam Hussein's car.
Really?
Yes.
Really? Oh my God. So how much is this worth?
We probably have to pay somebody to take this away.
Really? Okay, I'll pay, pay me. I'll take it.
These were the most valuable cars when they came out. These were for royalty, and this one was Saddam Hussein's.
Come on, we've got to get a value on it.
$500,000?
It's not
I
bad.
think the ownership affects the price negatively on that.
Really? What is the next dictator car? Can't possibly be this one,
It's
right?
not the Pope Mobile, so it is blessed by the Pope, so it is considered a relic.
I've got to say the chair is quite dirty and
We don't use it very often. This is the Nikita Khrushchev
okay.
Chaika.
Nah, this
So-
is kind of cool.
Black and red color combination, which is, pretty consistent with dictators. But you could tell the design comes a lot from the American cars.
Isn't that funny? That's a very interesting car. So what would the value of that be?
3 to 500,000?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, it'd be so cool to have like Khrushchev's car.
Yeah, you just have to have it come up for sale.
Look at this.
Just don't wave it.
No, don't worry. And finally then, the last dictator's car you got for me.
This is the Mercedes 500 SEL owned by President Ferdinand Marcos of the Philippines.
Yeah, it didn't end well for him, did it?
It did not. This is fully armor plated, and it's got some James Bond gear on the back. So if you look on the back, it's actually got airplane lights and an oil slick. So you can blind them with the lights and hit them with the oil if you're being chased.
Oh my gosh. So, how much is this one worth? I like this.
Maybe $250,000.
Guess which one I'm going for?
The Saddam car.
I'm definitely going for the Saddam car. 500,000. And remember,
You
you
can make
said...
the check out to the Peterson Automotive.
No, you said you'd have to pay someone to take it away, so you're going to pay me $500,000 to take it away. Okay. All right? Anyway, speaking of dictators, there's a film called The Dictator, and that brings me neatly on to movie cars. So I'd like you to give me 3 choices of movie cars.
What era?
You decide, I don't mind.
Perfect. Let's go up to the top floor.
Actually, let's make it my era. When you think about movie cars, Michael, this is the car that
This
everyone
really
thinks
is the
about.
car. This is the most searched for car that we get. I mean, this is the Back to the Future DeLorean, the A car. When you think about cars in films, they really are characters. People remember them just like the actors. And how can you forget the Back to the Future DeLorean?
Like you said, this is the car from the film.
Yes,
not
it's
a
got
replica.
little A right here to show that it was the A car that the actors would actually sit in.
So Michael J. Fox went back to 19...
Was it 89 or 83?
The editor will flash it up on the
85.
screen.
It says it right there. I mean, I should know this.
I'd like to sit in it. See if I can go back in time.
Can't do that, unfortunately. You can get very close to the flux capacity. Yeah, you can touch it.
Well, the flux capacitor, where is it?
Right there. It's still working.
It's fluxing.
Yeah.
It's definitely fluxing. We just need to be going 88 miles an hour. So, Michael, you don't need to tell me about the second car you've got for me. I watched a lot of this car when I was growing up. It's Kit from Knight Rider.
Big David Hasselhoff fan.
Yeah, big Hoff fan. Yeah, he was the man.
Yeah.
Kit was the car.
Probably one of the more iconic cars that we have in our Hollywood gallery. And the cool thing about this car was the story behind it is really unique. A train overturned with these cars on it, and they couldn't sell the cars because the train had derailed. So the studio bought them, and that's why Kit is this car.
So they took an opportunity, got some cheap cars, and goes, that'll do.
Yep, that's exactly right.
And then it became so famous.
Yeah, first connected car, first autonomous car. They had the idea of technology with this, and we're starting to see that on the road today. Even the flashing lights in the front, right?
They work, yeah. So the autonomy actually works better than on a Tesla, right?
That, again, no comment on that.
So how much is this worth?
It's priceless. I think somebody would probably pay $1 million. Why wouldn't you if you could have this in your living room?
It is cool. However, seeing as it fell out of a truck, can I get a discount?
That's a good negotiation tactic.
So, Michael, what have you got for my final choice of Hollywood car?
We have Eleanor. It's the only car that really has its own name, and this is the Gone in 60 Seconds with Nicolas Cage car, where it's his unicorn, right? This is the car that, you know, always gets him into trouble. It's got the famous Go Baby Go switch on it. But when you think of movie cars, and especially modern movie cars, this is a halo car.
And it looks beautiful, doesn't it? Very, very nice. How much would this one be?
If I had to guess, maybe $500,000 to $750,000.
Right, so we've got $1 million for Kit, and I never asked for the DeLorean. How much for that one?
The most iconic movie car of all time, maybe $1 million.
Oh, so I could have that or Kit?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go, I've got to go with Michael J. Fox's car, haven't I? The DeLorean.
It's a good choice.
Let's add that to the collection. But, do you know what we should do now? $1 million, 750,000. Let's go for the big money. I want you to find me the 3 most valuable cars in this collection.
I think we can do that.
So, Michael, I've still got a little bit of cash left, so it's time to spend big.
Okay, well, you might blow it all on this car.
Okay, what is it?
So this is a 1939 Bugatti Type 57C, and this is a one-of-one that was given to the Shah of Iran as a wedding gift.
The lines on it, it's so beautiful, and can I touch it with my hands?
Maybe with one finger.
Where would you rather I touch it?
On the metal, maybe. Yeah. Not the paint.
Not the paint. Beautiful paint, actually, and it's huge.
This was the pinnacle of French coach building. So this is bodied by Von Vrooen. It's got these beautiful, voluptuous teardrop fenders, which were reminiscent of the Art Deco period. And if you wanted to go fast and show elegance, you bought a Bugatti in the 30s. And this car even has the diplomatic windshield where you could crank the windshield down. So if you were in a parade, you could actually have no windshield to obstruct your photos.
I quite like that idea. That'd be really good for me. But, it's about elegance and stuff like that. Really, the reason I'm wanting a car that's real high-end and expensive is to just brag about the value. So what's the value of this?
This car, if it were to go to auction, would probably be valued at between $25 and $30 million.
Have you got something a bit more expensive?
We do. We can go down to the vault and take a look.
Why have you brought me to what seems to be the world's most expensive underground car park?
Well, so this is the museum's vault. This is where some of the most valuable cars in our collection live. And through these doors, we have a new room of Ferraris. So that's where we'll find the most expensive car we have on site. Right,
so it's the vault within the vault.
That's exactly right.
Let's see what you've got. Oh my God, Michael. Oh my God, my head is absolutely spinning. This is insane in here. I cannot believe it. So, right, well, I'm a bit dizzy. I love these. LaFerrari, we've got an Enzo, we've got an F40, we've got a 512, but this is going to be more expensive, isn't it?
This is mega, yeah.
Oh my God, this is Testarossa, right?
Correct, yeah. TRC, this is a Testarossa for customers. The C is for the consumer product of the Ferrari Testarossa.
So tell me about this car then.
So this is a 2-liter 4-cylinder, and this was one of the engines. Yeah, not a V12. So the TR was a V12. The TRC used a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, and it was derived from the Formula 2 cars that Ferrari was making.
Right. Does that mean it's not the most expensive Ferrari in here.
It's not.
Okay,
Surprisingly.
but before we do that, like, how much is this? It's still quite expensive,
This is
right?
probably a $25 to $30 million car.
So I could have this for 30 million or another more expensive Ferrari in here. And I know it's not those ones that I've already mentioned.
Surprisingly, no.
Is it that one over there, which is actually the worst looking Ferrari that isn't even in the proper Ferrari red?
That is the proper Ferrari red, but yes, it doesn't look anything like a modern Ferrari. That is the 125S, the first Ferrari ever built.
Let's go check that out. All right then, Michael, so here we have it. The most valuable car in the Peterson collection. How much is the first ever Ferrari road car worth?
At the minimum, I would say this is a $50 million car, but I would say that this car at auction, because it is the first and there's only one first, could go upwards of $100 million.
$100 million. And you know, when I said it wasn't the proper Ferrari red, I'm just thinking of Rosso red. But this is the first Ferrari.
This is Ferrari
This is
red.
Ferrari red. Do you know why I prefer it than the other car?
It's a V12.
It's a V12, isn't it? But a very little V12.
It's a 1.5 liter, which means the pistons are like little thimbles.
What does it rev to?
That I don't know. I mean, I would assume it revs probably to 6,000 or 7,000 RPM. We haven't tested it.
I bet you haven't. Oh my gosh. So, do you know what? I wanted the most valuable car in the collection. I'm going to have to add this to it. Obviously, it'd be stupid not to. So, shall we see what the total value is for all the cars that I've selected?
Let's do it.
Here it is. Here is the grand total. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
We accept checks and Venmo.
Okay. How about finance over quite a lot of years?
Well, we're supposed to be here forever as a museum, so.
Done, shake on it. We'll do that. Good. I hope you'll enjoy the video. If you did, please give it a like. If you click on those windows there, you can watch some more videos. And if you click on that box there, you can go to CarWow to see how much money you can save on your next car. Thanks for watching.